Is that us?
That's us.
Brilliant. Hello, everybody. I'm Ciara, and I've got my lovely friends and colleagues with me today, Sarah, Ed, and Pauline. And we're doing a really short clip for staff on loving kindness. So we're all interested in mindful self-compassion here, and we thought it would be helpful for staff to be able to come on, hear a short bit of information about what is loving kindness, what is mindful self-compassion, just a few slides. Then we're going to go straight to a practice that we're all going to do together. You can do it with us. And then after that, the four of us are just going to have a bit of a chat about what the practice was like, maybe a bit about how we might use it in our daily working lives, and the hope that it might be useful to yourselves. So there's a bit of blurb at the start, then we'll do the practice, and then we're going to have a conversation at the end. So if you don't want the blurb, you can fast forward straight to the practice, and then you can shut it off then if you don't want to hear the conversation afterwards. So it's not going to be too long. Is that okay? Does that sort of explain it?
Yeah.
So loving kindness phrases, when you hear the term loving kindness, I don't know about you yourselves, but I think, oh God, it's too soppy for me. It sounds too American, too Buddhist or whatever, but really it's quite simple. It's about finding phrases that are personal, that are tailored to you, that help you when things are difficult in life. Life is difficult, no doubt about that. Who do you want in your mind when you're having a bad day? Somebody that's berating you and saying, oh, Ciara, you made a mess of that again. You're useless. You're rubbish. Everybody's going to find out. Or do you want a more compassionate, encouraging voice saying, Ciara, this is difficult, but you know, you're doing your best. You'll do better next time. What do you need to hear in those moments that'll help you get through those difficult moments? That's all it really is. So some of the common kind of phrases that people might use are, may I be happy? May I live with ease? May I be free from fear? May I accept myself as I am? So in finding these loving kindness phrases, so they're the kind of common universal ones, but it's much better if you can find your own and if you can make them realistic. So may I be happy? You know, may I live with ease is maybe a bit too unrealistic for me because I'm most people, you can't be happy all the time. You know, may I accept myself as I am? That's something I would struggle with. So for me, it's may I begin to accept myself more, or, you know, something like that. May I begin to accept myself? Yeah, there it is. So those are some of mine. May I begin to accept myself? May I begin to live with more courage? They're actually straight from my little notebook where I keep my loving kindness phrases. And Paul Gilbert is a clinical psychologist who kind of developed compassion focused therapies, and he talks about the tone of voice is actually more important than the words. So you could say to yourself, may I begin to live with more courage, may I be kind to myself, and the tone of voice is anything but kind and compassionate. So it's how you say these words to yourself is really, really, really important. So when you look at those pictures, you can see how that little girl might be speaking to her dog. You know, people talk to their pets all the time, and there you've got someone's, maybe a father, I'm not sure, got it from Google Images, speaking to a baby. How are they going to be speaking? They're not going to be saying coochie coochie coo, you know, I love you. You know, it's going to be very much, hello wee darling, how are you? And that, it's the tone of voice. So that baby, that dog, they don't speak English, they don't understand it, but their nervous system is impacted by the tone of voice that's used by the girl who loves her dog and by the father who loves the child. So when that is really important. So don't get hung up on the words, but the tone of voice you use with yourself is nearly more important than what the words actually are. So finding a loving kindness phrase, I'd love to think of a more Northern Ireland way of describing loving kindness. Maybe we'll chat about it afterwards. But finding it, sometimes it can be helpful to think, what do I really need? What do I need right now? You know, in a day, if I don't have this need fulfilled, it doesn't feel right. So what is it to you that you need every day to get through a day? And there's lots of universal needs, like the need to be connected to other people. You know, we're social animals at the end of the day, we need that. To be loved, again, we all need that. I know it sounds really soppy, but we do. It's a nice feeling. Peaceful, to be free. So what do we need for ourselves? And that will matter. So for some people, being connected might matter more. For others, it might be feeling peaceful. So it really depends on you. And the one that really got it through to my thick skull was, what words would I like to hear whispered into my ear every day for the rest of my life? And that became my loving kindness phrase. Words that make you say, oh, I really needed that. And the words are, they're like a gift that you can give yourself over and over and over again. And it's free of charge and it doesn't take long. You don't have to sit for 10 and 15 minutes. When you're in work or your personal life and you're in a difficult moment, you can just say, come on, Kira, this is okay. You'll get there. You're doing the best you can. You're not terrible at this, whatever it happens to be. So it's really, you take it with you everywhere you go. If that makes sense. And you can do it everywhere. So you don't have to be sitting on a lovely beach like this lucky person here. You can do it sitting on the toilet. You can, if you're having a stressful day, go into the bathroom while you're having a pee and use your loving kindness phrases with yourself. You can do it in the office. You can do it sitting on the train. Look at that lady. She's holding her hands up. So she's clearly meditating and or doing a mindfulness practice or whatever. Maybe just some deep breathing, feeling her feet on the floor, bum the seat back in the chair. But she's clearly doing that and she's sitting on a train, So just also to say, in case people need reminded, there is a staff wellbeing helpline that was set up to help staff during COVID. That's the phone number. It's open from Monday, Friday, 9 to 5. If you ring out of those hours, you can leave a message and somebody from the psychology and psychological therapies team will get back to you and give you a call. And then Sarah's going to talk briefly about the other kind of newish service.
Yeah, thank you, Kira. So again, just for everyone to be aware, we also have a new staff psychological wellbeing service. This is a new initiative in the trust. And again, you can be referred by your line manager through to occupational health, and they will then refer you through to our service if deemed appropriate. It is a confidential service. It's really important that people are aware of that. And again, you will then be provided with support by either a psychologist or a psychological therapist, up to around 8 to 10 sessions. And we also can help with signposting to other services as deemed appropriate. So just to make staff aware that there are, alongside other supports available, but just to make you aware, there is also this new staff wellbeing service. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, and that's myself and Sarah's email address. If anybody is interested in learning more about this or wants more resources, please do, send it either of us an email. And I can send you more. We're hoping, so this is our first time doing this, so we're all a bit nervous, and we're hoping to do maybe another 3 or more. And if staff think it's helpful, we can do more. We're even getting carried away thinking about podcasts and everything. So this is our first go. We'll give it a go. So wherever you are, we're going to do the practice. So just get yourself as comfortable as you can. You can do this anywhere. So whatever sort of position that you feel most comfortable in. I always think it's good just kind of put your feet on the floor and ground yourself. So feel sort of the backs of your legs, your bum on the seat and your back in the chair, just where you feel sort of the support of the chair. And it can be helpful to either close your eyes or just bring your eyes down to somewhere where there's not too many distractions. And I'm going to use a practice from a book that I really love called the Mindful Self-Compassion Workbook, developed by Kristen Neff and Christopher Germer. And it's the loving kindness one that I really like. So just taking a wee minute to close your eyes, as I say, get comfortable, feel your feet on the floor, bum in the seat, back in the chair, and maybe just taking a few slow breaths. So just making the out breath a bit slower than the in breath. Just a few deep breaths. And maybe just giving yourself a wee hello. Hello, Kira. Busy day, just connecting with yourself, I suppose, giving yourself a wee hello. And if you can, just bring into mind a person or another living being who naturally makes you smile, who when you picture them and you see them, they just make you smile. So someone who you have a really easy relationship with, it's uncomplicated. And it could be anybody, it could be a friend, a spouse, could be a child, a grandmother, a pet, just anybody who naturally brings happiness to you, who knows you and accepts you just as you are. And you might be lucky enough to think of lots of people in your life who you know, but if you can, just choose one person or pet. And just letting yourself feel what it's like to be in that person's presence. What does it feel like in your body when you're with that person who really makes you smile? and who knows you well. And just let yourself create a vivid image of them in your mind's eye and enjoy being in their good company. And you recognize how this person or this pet wishes to be happy and free from suffering, just like yourself and just like everybody, really. And just repeating silently in your head good wishes to this person. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be healthy. And may you live with ease. So just sending that person who you really love good wishes. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be healthy. And may you live with ease. Or any other phrases that might come to mind. Phrases of goodwill for this person that you love. And you might notice that your mind will wander. That's perfectly okay. That's what minds do. We go off and think about something else, but just gently and kindly bringing your mind back to this practice, to the words and the image of the person. And just savoring any nice warm feelings that might arise. You might notice a smile coming to your face. And now, if possible, I'd like to add ourselves to this circle of goodwill. So creating an image of yourself in the presence of this loved one, visualizing you both together. And this time including ourselves, may you and I be happy. May you and I be peaceful. May you and I be healthy. May you and I live with ease. May we be happy. May we be peaceful. May we be healthy. May we live with ease. And now letting go of the image of the other. You might want to give them a hug or a pet or thanking them for their presence, for being in your life. And if it's somebody who's died before and isn't with us anymore, thanking them for the impact that they had on your life when they were alive. And then just letting the focus of your attention fall directly onto you. You might want to give yourself a soothing touch, so putting your hand over your heart or one hand on your other hand or your hand on your side, just offering yourself some soothing touch and just feeling the warmth and the gentle pressure of your hand. And just being in your body and even noticing where you might feel any stress or uneasiness in your body. And offering yourself those loving phrases. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. Repeating those words to yourself with as much warmth as you would give to a beloved child, person, animal. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. And any other phrases that might be more meaningful to yourself. Just taking a few breaths and accepting whatever your experience has been. Doing this practice, just experiencing it just exactly as it is. And it can sometimes be helpful to just remember those phrases or any that came to mind and just jot down the ones that stood out for you and meant the most to you in doing that practice. And they can change over time. I know that mine have changed over time doing this practice. And finally, just taking a few deep breaths and bringing yourself back to your surroundings, maybe opening your eyes if they were closed. You might need to do a bit of a stretch. And coming back to each other. So we are just going to have a bit of a chat about what that experience was like for us, because I know I learned so much from talking to other people, real people who have real lives, who might use some of these practices or not in their day-to-day lives. So how was that for everybody?
It's lovely, Ciara. I have to say, for me today, and I know I have engaged in some of these exercises with you previously, but the one thing that for me today felt really different but quite containing was whenever you said you can put your hand on your heart or you can put it on your hand. And I know for me in the past, I may not have necessarily, tried that. I might have kept my hand down. But today, when I did put my hand here, it actually felt really containing. I felt held, almost as if you could feel your heart. And it was warm. So it was a really lovely experience. Just that, the importance, I guess, of that touch and that connection, and particularly after quite a busy morning. So thank you for that.
I suppose for me, I was quite taken aback because I felt a bit emotional. For the person I was thinking about it was my niece, and it's her birthday today, and she's in Liverpool, and I just thought, gosh, I really miss you, I really miss you. But that was a lovely way to connect with her this morning, even though I'm not going to see her. It was just nice to take time and really, see how much people like that mean to you in your life. It's really important, And
allowing yourself to feel those feelings, even though she's in Liverpool, you're here. You're feeling them. I get emotional too, because it's always my nana, my mum's mum. Nana, we called her, and she's died a long time ago, but she had a real impact on me, and it's always her. So I always get a bit emotional, and I hate the bit where you have to let her go. But it brings up those feelings that even though she's not here, I can connect with those feelings that she did give me, even now, all these years later.
Yeah, lovely.
Ciara, as much as I know this stuff, I've got a stressful day today, stressful day tomorrow, and I didn't do it. And by sitting here this morning, and I'm really grateful, because by sitting here this morning, then I was, I did it with you. And the feeling I had was, I've got a rough day in front of you. I love that little, little picture you had. This too shall pass. I'll get through that. And if we have phrases in our head that are meaningful, that work for us, that aren't cheesy, but they're going to say, I was sitting when you were talking, really thinking of my granddaughter that I'm going to see in a few minutes, but I really thought, I'll get through this. This isn't the worst. And I love a phrase, you put it in my head, and I'm going to carry it today. I'm going to walk around with a hand on my shoulder.
Yeah. I struggled with the whole soothing touch. I think calling it soothing touch put me off a bit. And we're from Northern Ireland, we don't do all this sort of thing, you know what I mean? But I just did it. And sometimes I don't do it here. Sometimes I like to do this. There's something for me about holding my face, and like you would a child. Or if you're in a meeting, you don't want to sit like this, and people would look at you, so you can actually fold your arms, and I would sometimes just rub my side a wee bit, and give myself a wee squeeze that I'm here, I'm with you. But it's so powerful. You feel the warmth, you just feel compassion. And it's really funny. I was talking to my daughter, who's only 12, and she sometimes can't sleep at night, and she said, Mummy, see, the other night I couldn't sleep, and I just did this. Now, she doesn't know anything about this stuff. I just did this, and I got over to sleep. And she said it made me feel really safe. I was like, that's what soothing touch is all about. And she just came across that herself. But it's important just to remember to do these things, and
Yeah.
it doesn't come naturally to me. I'm not the most naturally I have lots of compassion for other people, friends, family, clients I work with. Like a lot of us in the trust, with all the compassion for the people that we're there to help, and we need to do a U-turn and bring it back to ourselves, don't we?
Absolutely. And even as a group, Ciara, because again, this morning before we started, there was a slight technical hitch. And what was so lovely for me to be part of this, it feels like a compassionate circle. Everyone was coming through with, it's okay, you know, we'll get there, be compassionate to yourself. But isn't that lovely though, that we can take those moments to look out for each other? Because actually life is very busy, and you know, there's a lot going on, and we've just come through and still gone through the impact of COVID and everything else, and just trying to juggle and balance. It's really important, not only to each other, but also, as you say, those messages that we hear in our head or give to ourselves, because we can be very good at supporting our friends and colleagues, but not necessarily being so kind to ourselves. And I think that is something that we have to, you know, I certainly have to work a bit harder at. So in that particular exercise, when you talked about those kind words, I think it's really important, you know, that we just take a moment sometimes and say, you know, what would we say to a friend who was maybe going through this, and then try and turn that around. And
you know how to do it. Like I was reading Kristen Neff's recent book, Fierce Compassion. She says in one of the first chapters, you don't need to be like, you don't need to have meditated, or this isn't even meditation. This, you know, it's just about a practice to ground yourself in your body, say some loving kindness phrases and feel it. But she said that, you know, you don't need to have meditated for 20 years on the top of a mountain and have all this experience behind you. Have you been a good friend to somebody? And I would say probably all of us have been a good friend. So you know how to do this because you can do it. You've shown that you've been a good friend. If somebody's having a hard day, giving themselves a hard time, you know what to say, you know how to help them. You just need to turn that around and do it to yourself. So I was really relieved by that. And I thought, fantastic, because I'm not one of those people that's done all those meditation retreats. I can be a good friend, so it's just about turning it around.
I think it's really, because we're working in the trust, and a lot of us are in caring roles, and we are easily able to tap into other people giving, but it is a really powerful question, and it can be uncomfortable to say, what do I need right now? You know, it can be a bit disconcerting, and a bit like you're in an uncomfortable zone initially, thinking, I don't know whether I've ever asked myself that, you know, a lot. And actually, yes, I do deserve to become, you know, my own best friend in a way. I have got the wherewithal within me. I've got the skills. I can turn this inwards, and I can apply it. I can soothe myself. But it's like everything. It is a wee bit, as you say. We're from Northern Ireland. It's a bit woolly. It's a bit soft, and catch yourself on. Like, who's gonna, you know, what are you asking yourself? What do you need? You know, but it's actually very powerful. It's actually very powerful to ask yourself that question, I think, and give yourself what you need, you know.
That's an important word you're saying, Pauline, need, because you said I deserve, but we also have needs, and we have a responsibility to look after us, because if we're not looking after us, and Karen, Sarah, you said this in your clip, you're not looking after anybody else. So that's an important thing to think about.
No, it really is. And, you know, it's important that you can practice this anyway. I mean, you're with yourself all the time. You know, you take yourself to bed, you take yourself on holiday, you take yourself to work. You know, it makes sense to have a better relationship with yourself. Why do you want to bring a bully with you? You know, bring somebody kind with you, because you can't get away from yourself. You're here all of the time in this body, in this head. And, you know, definitely, and again, before we were doing this, you know, I'm a bit nervous about this. I'm not an expert on it. I'm learning as well, and this is our first time doing it. I don't like appearing on camera and recorded and whatever. But, you know, I was able to say to you, I'm a bit nervous. Somebody give me a compassionate pep talk here, you know, and giving myself that pep talk as well. You know, so it is. It's like being your own best friend type thing. But so we're going to plan a few more of these, aren't we? And we're going to ask different people that we know and different people in trust if anybody wants to join us for one. Email us and let us know. But yeah, until the next time, I enjoyed that. It was okay.
Thank you, Ciara. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
Hope it was helpful.